Good morning. Uh, Today we are going to discuss about error control coding. This fifth unit topic. So here in the error control coding, so this before you have seen the information will be transmitted through the channel. So since we are using a radio channel, obviously there will be some errors during transit. Okay, so we must use some mechanism at the receiver side to recover or to correct or to detect the errors. So for such a process, we need to add some additional functionality. Okay, so we already seen the digital communication system. We have a couple of starting from information source, generates the information, then it will be passed to the next source encoder where it will encode the information into some kind of a coding sequence. Later on it will be put up on the channel, so we have a modulation and demodulation. So in the existing communication system, in order to detect and correct the errors, we need to deploy some additional functionality that will do it in error control coding. The technique is very simple. So if you look at the communication block diagram, so in the existing digital communication system, we slightly added some more functionality, okay, where the information will be generated from the source as usual with certain rate. We call it as the RB bits per second. So there onwards we have a source encoder where the encoding process will be taking place. Will represent the information. In case of ternary, we'll use some coding sequence, quaternary, okay. Some kind of a coding we'll use it using Shannon encoding algorithm, okay, Fano algorithm, like that. So apart from that, you have a channel encoder. So this is an additional block we'll use in error control coding. So in channel encoder, so what it does is, like whatever the information it received from the preceding stage, for that message it will in turn perform the encoding. Encoding is very simple, okay, just it will convert one form of data into another form, okay. So again here in the channel encoder, so the information bits, whatever it received from the previous stage, for that information K bits. So for the existing K bits, some additional bits it will add it, okay. We'll see the characteristics of check bits. We'll see how to form the check bits, what kind of check bits we need to use it, okay, in order to effectively detect the errors. So for the existing K message, it will add some additional bits, okay. That is what the function of channel encoder. So that is the encoding process. K bits it will in turn convert into another sequence whose length is n, okay. So we'll do that additional adding of the bits for check bits in order to form is n bit after encoding, okay. So the channel encoder, it will convert the stream of bits into another sequence whose rate is now RC. Before it was RB, now it is RC bits per second because it will change. Then followed by modulator channel. At the receiver side you have a demodulator, and we have one more block at the receiver, that is channel decoder. It will does exactly the reverse process, decoding. Whatever the n minus k check bits it is added at the transmitter side, okay, it will just extract that, it will reproduce the information. This was the simple coding technique we'll use in order to effectively correct the errors or in order to detect the errors, okay. So this is a communication block diagram in case of error control coding, and we have different methods of controlling the errors. The first one is forward acting error correction method. You have two types. So the one is acting error correction method. Here actually we are making an attempt to correct the errors. If any error occurs during transit from transmitter to receiver side, so during transit if any error occurs, we are make some effort in order to fix it. Okay, we'll try to regain the original message by correcting the corrupted bits. Okay. So that method we call it as forward acting error correction method. So error detection. So as name indicates, it will detect the errors. Okay, at the receiver side, it will receive the received sequence and it will have some valid code sequences, or we call it as a code vectors. So whenever any incoming stream of bits appears, it will check the entire table valid code sequence. If that particular received sequence is one among that valid code sequence, it will accept it. Otherwise, straight away it will just discard it. So the receiver will ask the sender to retransmit. Okay, so this is what error detection method. If any small error occurs, straight away receiver can discard it, so that the transmitter in turn has to transmit it. So this is the best method where always we have a chance of getting a original message. Okay, so in error correction, we should correct it. It's a cumbersome and quite complex method. In detection, it will straight away reject the data if it is not an expected or original sequence. We have different types of errors we'll deal with in error control coding. So one is random error. Is in the transmitted sequence, error may occur randomly. Okay, so it normally occurs due to the thermal noise or a short noise. Okay, so we know that there is always a thermal noise with the electronic circuits or equipments. Due to that thermal noise, so it will corrupt randomly at certain bits. Okay, so those kind of errors we call it as random errors. A few bits will be get corrupted. So at the receiver will. So in case of burst error, okay, so this burst error is a large amount of bits, okay, will be get corrupt, right? This may be because of like lightning, okay, any man-made error, or if suddenly the communication equipment can stop functioning at certain interval. So there is a block of or stream of bits, okay, it will change. So that kind of error, we call it as a burst error. It is difficult to fix it. Okay, so those two kinds of error will try to recover or will fix the problems corresponding to those two errors, random error and burst error. And types of codes, okay, so we'll use certain coding techniques, okay, to deal the problems. So those different codes are, there will be plenty of codes. So these are the two important codes most frequently used, and we are going to discuss among these two. First one is the block codes. So where the block code, okay, is something like certain amount of additional bits. Okay, in case of linear block code, okay, we'll use n minus k number of check bits. Okay, certain set of codes will be added for the existing k information bits to form the n bit code words. Okay, so block of codes will be get added. Okay, those codes we call it as a block codes. Example is a linear block codes. That is actually a block code. A block of bits will be added. Okay. Convolution codes, here the check bits will be continuously interleaved. It will be mixed with the k information bits, right? It's not like in block. One information bits, two check bits, again one information bits, two check bits, like that. So there will be continuously mixing, okay, convolution we call it as, so those codes we call it as convolution codes. So these are the two types of codes we are going to deal with in the upcoming topics. LBC code, linear block code. So it is come under block codes category, okay. So why? Because n minus k amount of additional bits we are going to add for the existing k information bits, right, to form the n bit code words. Ultimately we call that as a code word, okay. So channel encoder, what it does, it will accept some information from the preceding stage. At the output it will give you some sequence, okay, where it will be get added with the additional bits, we call it as a check bits. How many bits? That is the n minus k number of check bits, right. This is how we can generate LBC. For k plus n minus k will be added to form the n bit code words, okay. So that is what represented here. At the left hand side you have only k bits. At the right hand side there will be a message k bits plus, okay, n minus k check bits, okay. You can generate in this way also. So at the beginning n minus k check bits plus you put up the information bits to form the n bit code word, okay. However you can just use it. So these codes we call it as systematic linear block code. Systematic linear block code. Why? Because the n minus k check bits, it appears either at the beginning or at the end continuously, okay. Those set of codes we call it as systematic linear block code. If it not appears either at the beginning or at the end, then it is non-systematic, okay. So next part is the matrix description of linear block codes, right. So channel encoder, for k it will convert into n bit code words by doing some operation. So generated with certain process. So for that we need to find out an equation how it can find the code words, right. So to know that equation, how it forms the n bit code words. So that kind of code we call it as n comma k. A linear block code which is having a length of information of k bits, whose length of code word is n, then those set of code we call it as the n comma k linear block code, where n is the total length of the code word, k is length of the information, data bits you can call it as, okay. So this is n comma k codes. So to generate those code words, okay, we need to follow certain equation. In order to derive that equation, some few steps, okay. So that I call it as matrix description of linear block codes. Okay. So here, whatever the information, okay, message, I am calling it as a message vector, okay, I call it as message vector. So that message vector I call it as D, data vector, you can call it as a data vector, and I define the data vector bits, okay, with d1, d2, so on up to dk, okay. So the data vector is d1, d2, so where k is total number of message bits. Suppose if we have 4 information bits, then it is d1, d2, d3, d4, okay. So these data bits may be either ones and zeros, because after all we are just dealing with binary type of coding, okay. So that, so example you can call 1011, it's one type of data, right. So the data vector I have just call it as d1, d2, so on up to dk. Then the code vector, okay, the code vector C is C1, where n is the last bit of the code word, okay, where C1 is first bit of the code word, C2 is second bit of the code word, right? So this is C1, C2, so on up to Cn, okay, and its data vector, if D is of length 3, okay, I mean K is what? 3. How the data vector look like? It may be like this, 101. Any stream of 3 bits you can take it. However, you can make the combination. Okay. So K is what? 3. So total number of data vector is what? Sorry, 8. Right? K is 3. So always it. So your code vector, okay, total number of codes you will get was 8, because for every information there is a definite code word, right? For a 3-bit information, okay, there will be totally 8 different messages. For every message there must be some encoded sequence, that is C. So for 8 messages there will be 8 codes, whatever may be the length of the codes, but number of codes, okay, it should be equal to what? Based on the total number of information, right? So if we have K, the number of bits used to represent message is 3. So how many messages? Set of message. Okay, it is ranging from all zeros to all one. Totally 8 message. For every message, there must be a ready code word you should generate, right? So that is, the C is equal to what? Total number of code words is 8, right? So whatever may be the length of the coding sequence, but the number of code words must be equal to 8. So what I mean to say is, two to the power of k. Those are the valid code vectors. What are the invalid code vectors? The length of the coding sequence may be anything. It may be 8. Okay, then 2 to the power of 8. So that many codes are available, but not all are valid. Right? So the valid code vectors are 2 to the power of k. What are the invalid code vectors? Invalid code vectors are total codes, okay, in n. Suppose if n is 5, totally 32 combinations. All 32 are not valid. Okay, for my information only 3 bits are there. There may be 8. So among 32, 8 are my code vectors. Remaining are invalid. So how we can define? They are the invalid code vectors, right? That is what it is mentioned here. Next, so we are going to form a systematic codes. Okay, systematic is the check bits, whatever additional bits you are going to add. It must be at the beginning or it may be at the end of the code word. Okay, so if that is the case, it is systematic linear block code. I am going to generate the systematic only. For that reason, just using Ci is equal to Di up to I is equal to 1, 2, so on up to K. Okay. What's its meaning? K. It means certain bits of the code word is same as the bits of data. Certain bits, not complete. Suppose if the length of the code word is 8 bits, partially around 3 or 4 bits, it is same as data only. Whatever the K information bits, no, that should exist either at the beginning or at the end, right? So that's what Ci. Suppose the first bit of the code word I call it as C1. Second bit of the code word I will call it as C2. Okay. Third bit of the code word I call it as C3. So like that, so on up to, suppose if the length is 8, then it is C8. I am just talking about only one sequence, only one. In that sequence, position I am talking, right? First bit, second bit, third bit. So when you look at the entire code word, some bits, okay, in continuous order, right? That must be data. Okay, so it means C1 is equal to what? D1. 2. C3 is equal to D3, like that. Okay, so up to what? K. Suppose if the length of the message bits is 4 bits, then C1 is equal to D1, C2 is equal to D2, C3 is equal to D3, C4 is D4. Okay, all K number of bits must appear in the coding sequence or in the code word. Okay, first it has to appear. Later we'll see the additional check bits, how to form and how to get. But K information must exist in the code word. Okay, then only I can call it a systematic. Right? So Ci is equal to Di up to K. Then what about the next bits? It means but this is not the end of the code word, right? It has go up to Cn, right? Partially I defined how to define the remaining bits of the code word. Okay, I can call it as Ck plus 1, Ck plus 2, so on Cn. It has to go up to n because length is n, right? Partially I can define with the help of data, but how to define the additional bits? Okay, that will. Okay. The remaining n minus k check bits. Okay, the remaining bits I call it as a special kind of bits, additional bits, redundant bits, or check bits. Can call in any name. So, how many number of bits? That is always n minus k. Okay. Suppose if length of the message is 3 bits, the length of the code word is 8 bits. Length of the code word is 8 bits. Okay, so that in the 8-bit code word, those k must appear. What is the k? K is 3. Okay, so initially C1, C2, C3 is equal to what? D1, D2, D3, same as D. How to define C4 to C8? C4 to C8, right? So this C8, they are the additional check bits. What is the length of that? Length of that is n minus k. N is 8 minus k is 3. 8 minus 3 is what? 5. So 5 should be the remaining bits. I know 3 is already appeared. Yet to define 5 more bits, right? Then only the length is 8. So that's what always the additional bits are n minus k. It's a n minus k. That's a rule for LVC, right? For a k, n minus k additional bits. Next, the n minus k number of check bits, that is Ck plus 1, Ck plus 2, so on up to Cn. Okay, that you need to define now, right? With certain logic that are derived from the existing k only, right? The remaining bits, they are some bits. The same bits will use at the receiver side. Okay, it's like an agreement. Some special bits I use it at the transmitter side. The same bits I will just use it at the other side for decoding. Okay, it's something like an agreement. We'll use the parity bits, no? Even parity, odd parity. Okay, similarly, this is one more kind of a pattern. Okay, so this is additional bits ck plus 1 I define like this. Okay, ck in this example only, if you take it, if k is 3, okay, it means is already defined. I need to define C4, ck plus 1, C4. How to define C4? Okay, the fourth position of the code word, right? So that C4, that example I can call it as ck plus 1 is equal to P11 D1 plus P21 D2 plus so on up to PK1 DK. Okay. P11, P21, P12, P13, okay, they are after all ones and zeros. Okay, there is no any particular hierarchy we should choose the bits like this. No, it is just assume that it's ones or zeros. P11, P12, P13, P31, they are after all ones and zeros. Okay, so for those P11, I will first bit of the data vector. Anyhow, the data is readily available. Okay, so this P11, this one indicates the row and this one indicates the column. First row, first column of P. There will be some stream of bits. Okay, in that stream, I can just put up in the form of matrix. So in the matrix, first row, first column bit, you just choose it, multiply with the D1. Okay. Similarly, the second row of the first column only you choose and multiply with the D2, some other bit will be available. It will be get added with previous bit and the addition should be mod 2 addition. Okay, mod 2 addition, logical addition, not arithmetic addition. Okay, plus so on up to the last row of the first column only. So like that I can get the ck plus 1 just to get the fourth bit. There will be some other matrix P11, P22 like that. Okay, so this is what P11, this is what P12. First row, first column, first row, second column. How to define this element? It is what? Second row, first column, P21. Okay, this is after all a matrix having ones and zeros. So in order to get that ck plus 1, so that is pk1 dk. Similarly, ck plus 2. Okay, you have to choose the second column. Again same thing. First row, second column D1. Second row, second column D2. Okay. Third row, second column D3. You have to do this. Okay. D into this rows column multiplication. You will get the succeeding bits of the code words. Right? Right. So again P11, P21, they are ones and zeros. Okay. So the entire code word is displayed here. C1, C2 up to CK, partially those codes are same as D only. CK plus 1, CK plus 2, so on up to Cn. How to get it? It is just a multiplication of D1 to Dk with some matrix. Okay, what is that matrix? In that matrix, it is having certain elements here. It looks like what? Identity matrix. The reason is very simple. If you multiply that rows into columns, initially some bits are same as D only. I should get that pattern. Okay, some bits of the code word should be same as data only. For that reason, I should use identity matrix. Okay, you can check it. If you multiply D1 with the first column, it's D1 only. That is what Ci is equal to Di, right? So until here, we should use identity matrix, and this n minus k terms, additional bits, are ones and zeros. Some special kind of a matrix you can call it as. You can call it as a special matrix whose element values are either 1 and zeros. Okay, I can just define that matrix, what exactly it is, right? So it means the first vector is a D. This entire matrix I call it as G in order to get code vector C, right? So C is equal to DG. That's the formula to get the code words. Your data vector, if it is available, okay, if generator matrix is available, within no time I can produce the code words. That is what the function of channel encoder, right? It will just take the k and produce n. And this is what the logic behind that. C is equal to DG, where G is the generator matrix. Okay, it look like this. Your G should have an identity matrix followed by one more matrix. I call it as a parity matrix, right? Okay. G is a generator matrix of order k into n. It means a k number of rows, n number of columns, right? K number of rows, first row, second row, so on up to k. It means k rows. Columns, there will be so many number of columns. How many columns? Up to the n value. If length of the code word is 8, then 8 columns should be there, right? So that's what it is, k into n order. Generator matrix order is what? K rows, n columns. That's the order of generator matrix, remember. Okay, the order of different matrices you should know. The order of G is k into n. Okay, and next you have partially this matrix, you can call it as Ik. Ik is an identity matrix of order k. If k is 4 bits, then it is 4 into 4 matrix, 4 rows, 4 columns. If k is 5 bits, it's 5 into 5, right? So Ik is an identity matrix. Next part, this is the parity matrix, right? So P11, P12, they are either 1 or a 0. But those set of matrix, I call it as parity matrix. How many number of rows? Same thing, k number of rows only, but columns, you just leave it now Ik. Consider only that additional part. How many number of columns? Total columns are n. But now just leave that k. Remaining columns are what? N minus k columns. So the order is n minus k into columns. Okay, order is k into n minus k, right? Order of generator matrix is k into n. These are the 2 points you should remember. Okay, this helps you to solve the problems. Order, right? Any doubts here? If you want to generate the code word, this is the simple formula, DG. Data vector has to be multiplied with generator, whereas your generator is a combination of identity and parity, right? If you know the k, I can produce the identity matrix. If k is 5, then the identity matrix is order of 5 into 5. And parity matrix, okay, we'll see. Most of the cases it will be given in the problem. If not, also we can construct it, right? If you have a G, I can produce the code words, right? There is one example how we can generate the code words. Okay. So in the problem, parity matrix is given. Okay, parity matrix is given, and its order is 3 into 3. Normally the parity matrix order is k into n minus k, right? So a systematic code of 6 comma 3. Always LBC will be defined with the notation n comma k, right, where n is the length of the code word, k is length of message. So length of code word is 6 now, length of message is 3. Okay, it's a 6 comma 3 code. Right? Code. Parity is given, but in order to get the code words, I need a generator matrix of G. What is the order? Into P. K is 3. N is 6. Yes, parity is 3 into 3. Fine. I should generate G. So G, P and IK. P is already given. What is the IK? K is 3. It's I3. Identity matrix is of order 3. How to define it? 0, 1. This is the I3 followed by P. P is 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0. It's our G. Okay. Message vector is already given. Its length is what? 3. Totally there will be 8 unique messages. G is readily available. Then you can just perform matrix. I can produce the code words. Right? That is what it is there. So your G is I3 followed by P. This is my G. Identity matrix, parity matrix, which is, so your D is what? D1, D2, D3. Right? Length is 3 bits. But 3 bits may be anything from all 3 zeros to all 3 ones. Totally 8 combination. For all combination you must produce the code word. I don't know what kind of pattern appears, but length is 3. So for all 8 you should find. For all 8. Okay, always like that. If K is 4, then totally 16 combination you should produce the code words. D1, D2, D3, just put the same G. Okay. Then you can just multiply D1 into this, D1, D2, D3. Whereas here D1 plus D3, if you multiply this row, this column. Next multiply this row, this column. It is D2 plus D3, it is D1 plus D2. In equation form you can just put up, it is better, so that I can immediately produce the code words next. This is what you can call it as equation also, right? In that form you can just keep on add it. Do the mod 2 addition. Logical addition, not arithmetic. First bit of the code word is same as D1, second bit of same, third bit of code word is same as D3. Whereas fourth D1 plus D3. D1 plus D3 in this problem, because the pattern of parity matrix is like that. This is the next bit, this is the next bit. So total, how many length, what is the length of code word? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, it is a 6 comma 3 code, right? So I have just taken one example for one particular message. The message can be anything from all 3 zeros to, here is one message. For that 0, multiply with the generator matrix, which is already defined. Okay, you have equation form also for that. The code word is, first bit is same as D1, second bit is same as D2, third bit is same as D3. So the same 0, 1, 1 appeared there. In the code word, the same data pattern is appeared. Okay, partially. The remaining bits are according to that relation, D1 plus D3, D2 plus D3, like that. So I have just defined 010, because k is 3 bits, you have to define for all 8 combinations. This is my first code word, second code word, third code word, totally 8 number of code words. The length of the code word is 6. Check here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So when you look at all these code words, the first 3 bits are same as data only. The remaining bits are changing. Okay, those are the check bits has to be inserted at the transmitter side. The same bits will be used at the other end. This is a concept of linear block code generation. Okay, the simple formula I can generate. Okay. Next one is parity check matrix. So you have one more matrix, parity check matrix, we call it as H. So I can immediately produce H with the help of G. Just understand how the notation is for H. H is P transpose followed by In minus K. It's an identity matrix of order n minus K. Okay. It's very easy to write identity matrix. You just check the order and put up, right? And one more is P transpose. Already in the G, you have a P. Okay. P transpose means all rows becomes columns. I can immediately produce H. And this matrix, I call it as a parity check matrix. Okay. This H is very important at the receiver side. G is very important at the transmitter side. G is used to generate. H is used to detect or correct. How to produce H? P transpose followed by identity matrix of n minus K. Okay. The same G I can just put up in that particular form here. Again same thing, P11 indicates first row, first column of parity. Right? This one. What is the order now? Order will change now. Totally how many rows for H matrix? This is the first row. This is the second row. Like that, n minus K number of rows. How many columns? As usual, n. Total columns is n. So it is n minus K into n matrix. N minus K into n. Whereas your G is what? K into n minus K. This is n minus K into n. Okay. Okay. So this is encoding circuit. Okay. I know the procedure, but there must be some particular hardware, no, so that it will perform that function code words, right? So in order to design the circuit, the things are very simple. If you want to build a system where I can feed the information, it should encode and produce code words of LVC. It's very, very simple. Okay. So if you know that previous equations, matrix description, the same thing I can just implement with a simple hardware. The encoding circuit, okay, I have just referred the same problem 6,3. So your C is, you know that equation D1, D2, D3, first 3 bits. Next D1 plus D3, that will give you the 4th bit. D2 plus D3 will give you the 5th bit. D1 plus D2 will give you the 6th bit of code word. 6th bit of code. That is the standard equation. By referring that, I can produce all my code words. This was reproduced previously. Okay, the same thing I have just referred here. Okay. So now to draw the encoding circuit, I have used a shift register. Okay, shift registers are available. Okay, with the help of flip-flops, I can construct that shift register. That IC chips are available. You can take it. It's a 3-bit shift register where the bits will be inserted inside the shift register. Okay, only 3 bits I have used. D1, D2, D3. Because it's a case of 3. It's a 3-bit shift register and I need some adders, mod 2 adders. They are also available, mod 2 adders. If you want to add the bits, 2 bits, we have plenty of adders. Okay, these are the mod 2 adders. right? 7486, an exclusive OR function. It basically performs the mod to add. This one, and these are the total 6 bits. It's a commutator switch. How to produce the first bit of code word? C1 is same as D1, C2 is same as D2, C3 is same as D3. Okay, so these 3 bits are readily available. The fourth bit, how to get the fourth bit? Fourth bit C4 is D1 plus D3. Take D1, next D3. Here, this adder is basically performing D1 plus D3. It will give you as C4. Next C5. C5 is D2 plus D3. Capture the status of D2, capture the status of D3, perform logical AND, produce the 5th bit of code word. Similarly, D1 plus simple encoding circuit using mod 2 adders along with shift resistance. Got this encoding circuit? If you know C is equal to DG, that's it. Okay, I can produce all my code words by building a small hardware implementation. Okay, this is one encoding circuit for that previous problem. Okay. Okay, this is the encoding. And next one is syndrome and error detection. I already said in the previous discussion initially, there are 2 types of error correction. One is forward, which can correct the errors. One more is error detection, right? So syndrome and error correction. If any error occurs, you need to fix it, no? Right? So for that there is some procedure in the LBC. So it means using LBC I can correct my errors, right? Not only detection, even I can correct the errors. E is equal to R minus C or R plus C, where E is the error vector, R is the received vector, C is the coding vector. R is whatever the stream of bits you will receive at the receiver side is received vector. C is your coding vector or coding sequence. E is an one more matrix. Okay, I call it as a error vector. And your error vector, how it look like? Vector, again it is having ones and zeros. It is 1 in case if the received bit is not exactly equal to the coding sequence. If R is not equal to C, equal to C, the valid coding sequence I have, the valid codes I have with the receiver, so it will check it. If the coding table, valid coding table, string represents as 1, indicate there is an error in the first bit. Okay. See, if the received sequence is same as coding sequence, indicate as 0. That 0 in the error vector indicates no errors. No errors. In the error pattern, the number of ones will tell you how many errors. We have a 4 logic ones in the error pattern. There are 4 errors. Got this? Okay. So the decoding equation at the receiver side. At the transmitter C is equal to DG, I did it. But at the receiver you have to perform some decoding, no? Okay. So once the received is not equal to C, you should generate some pattern. That's the decoding has to be performed. The decoding equation at the receiver is S is equal to R H transpose. Right? R is the received sequence. H, you know that it's a parity check matrix. Right? We can easily produce from the G. H transpose means rows becomes columns. From H I can produce H transpose. So received sequence are available at the receiver side. If you multiply that with the parity check matrix, I will get a syndrome yes. Again, those yes indicate whether there is a presence of error in the received sequence or there is no error. If there is a error, in which bit position it is having error, it will tell you. That's the reason I need to find out syndrome. Syndrome is one particular matrix. When you look at the matrix, I can say whether a error is present. If there is a error, where is the error? What is the position of that bit? So that I can, once I know where exactly the error, I can fix it. So that is the correction. We will see that in the next class. S is RH transpose is the way to detect the errors and to fix the error at the receiver. Okay. We'll see the remaining things in the next class. It is like a decoding circuit and all. Okay, these concepts are very important. The same thing we'll use it to solve the problems. Okay. Thank you.